Hello, hello. This is Zach Batista from B to Z Podcast. And last episode, we left off at photography and videography of skateboarding, horses, and pole dancers, as well as acknowledging the film talents of skateboarding legend Spike Jonze. And now, without further ado, what you've all been waiting for, the continuation of the Skateboarder's Odyssey with Zach Peacock.
It was fully flared, set up?
No.
That was just on the street?
The intro was like, that was purposeful. Like they set that up and did all that. But it's just a skate video. It's just run and gun. Get after it. What about that
skate video? Almost or Yeah, right? Is it Yeah, right? Or
was you talking about like cheese and crackers on the mini ramp?
Yeah. Nah, they're doing all of these crazy things. And
So Girl Skateboards, it's under the umbrella of Crail Tap. Crail Tap is like Royal Trucks, Girl and Chocolate Skateboards, 4-star Clothing, Leaving Somebody Out, whatever. All those little entities that they have under that umbrella, they're real tight with Spike Jonze. And Spike Jonze is a skateboarder and filmed skateboarding with his friends and grew up riding BMX and skateboards. And he just happened to be skating with Eric Costin and Mike Carroll and Rick Howard. That was his group of people. So as he got better at filming, and then like somebody saw his like a video that he had produced, and then they were like, oh shit, will you film our music video? So then like the Beastie Boys, whoever runs the Beastie Boys hit him up. So he did all the Beastie Boys music videos. So he has like this wealth of music video filming because of skateboarding. It got him into music videos, and then he started filming like he did Her and Where the Wild Things Are. Spike, he's done so many amazing, real, big budget movies. That dude's a fucking skateboarder.
Yeah.
And so these skits that are in all those girl videos that you're talking about, like the invisible boards and like the like all that stuff, like there is these skits that are very cinematic and those are all Spike. Every bit of that is Spike. And so he's been like a heavy part of all that, like introducing cinema into skateboarding.
How do you feel about the overproduction side of things in extreme sports like Red Bull?
Dude, my favorite Instagram is Red Bull's Instagram. Mm-hmm. Like I strive towards that kind of shit. Like, yeah, they're getting they're pulling permits, and yeah, they're like, a lot of it is like they've took the time to do
controlled.
It's controlled situations, but there is still people like they have the money and they are putting the money back into this shit. Anytime somebody's putting the money back, like Red Bull and Monster and all that, I don't drink energy drinks at all. But the fact that they have the money to put into this shit, and they I don't, there's other companies that don't give a shit about skateboarding or extreme sports or whatever. But these companies are funding these situations. And it's like, they could not very well be doing any of this shit. They don't have to do any of this stuff, but they know that this is what people want to see.
Yes.
Human beings being pushed to the limits and finding the limits.
Right. Skateboarding is in a rough spot right now.
I think it's just everything. Like the industry, like tattooing is slow. My buddy Steve, like the motorcycle industry is slow. I think he said he's down $100,000 from last year.
Holy shit.
Jesus.
Like everybody is taking a hit right now, but it's just the state of the world is wild right now.
You going to Born Free?
Yeah, I go to Born every year.
Who you going out there with?
With Steve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I'm with Steve, like the last 3 years that I've been with him or so, like has been documenting 4 Speed Kings at Born Free. And I get to go and enjoy it. Like that's the nice thing about knowing what I need to shoot.
What are the perks of that job?
Of what? Like
working with
I wasn't sure if you
motorcycle brand.
I got to see behind the veil. Like I got to see like how the industry actually is, and it's dope. Like I'm meeting up with people that are like really tied into all these things you see on the internet. You're like, damn, that's a dope bike. Like how long did that take? I know how long that bike took to build. Mm-hmm. I know how long the bike behind me. I know how long that bike took to build. And I know when somebody's coming up with something, I know how many people are actually pulling the strings behind this shit. And so that was the tight thing. And then obviously the perks are like hanging out with these bike builders that you've like been like, I was all gassed up. Like when you meet your first pro skateboarder, that they're bigger to me than movie stars. Mm-hmm. So when I meet my first pro skateboarder, I'd be like, oh, fuck, that's Max Schaff over there. Fuck, that's Max Schaff. And then you get into like motorcycles and you're like, oh, fuck, that's like this super famous.
Reed,
it does, yeah. There's all these famous.
Jeremy McGrath.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, like all the San Diego Custom guys.
Ricky Carmichael, James Stewart.
Yeah, the San Diego Custom dudes, I'm like, their bikes are fucking tough.
Evil fucking Knievel.
Exactly. So, but like a lot of those dudes aren't alive anymore.
Yeah.
And those are your dirt bike guys. Like I didn't come up in the dirt bike shit. So it was like, for me, it was more the street.
Yeah.
And like all the unknown guys, like the Unknown Industries out of San Diego, like all those unknown dudes they were the first guys doing wheelies on Harleys, documented. That was like, I was attracted. Like I'm not interested in anything at a base level. If you're taking this boring shit and you're doing something wild with it, then I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in motorcycles. I'm interested in pushing motorcycles to their breaking point.
Right. And you do that. You know, I used to be like, dang, I don't even need a bike. I used to get enjoyment out of
live vicariously through them.
Yeah, like, hold on.
What'd you get today?
He would let me ride every one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'm not one of those guys that's like a pavement queen. Like, this is my fucking baby. Like, it's got 30 miles on the bike because you ride it every fucking weekend and that's it. Like, no. Like the bike that I have right now, I got it at the end of December 23. We're now April 24, and my bike has almost 3,500 miles on it.
I got some quick questions. What are your skate brands right now? If you're getting trucks, run us through a board setup. What's your deck going to be?
Well, the board right now, just because I'm deeper than that. Like my particular things about it is the shape. Like I follow brands because of the shape of the board, and all skateboarders have the madness. We're all crazy particular. That's why I'm sure that's why you asked this question, because every one of us are lunatics and we have like our specific things about it.
Everyone's a little different too.
For little and like literally like little weird millimeters is like, I'm like, oh, I'm not riding 56 wheels. I'm not bombing hills. I'm not cruising. Like I have a hardness to my wheel. I have like, so with that being said, Shane O'Neill's shape of board that he's been riding since the old days. Like, I started following Shane O'Neill just because obviously he's an amazing skateboarder, but when he was on Skate Mental, he had the same shape on Skate Mental that he had on Primitive, and then now his own brand, April Skateboards. So his shape on April has been my favorite shape, and it's an 8.125. That's the size board that I ride.
That's bigger than normal, huh?
No, 8.125 is smaller than 8 1/4, but it's bigger than an 8-inch board.
Okay.
And to today's standards, that's a small board. Most people are riding 8.5, 8.6.
Okay.
All that weird, massive, like to me, I don't ride any of that shit. Like I want to flip my board. I want to I want it to be maneuverable. So I bounce between an 8.125 and an 8.25, 8 1/4, but usually it's an 8.125. So it's an 8.125 April board, and it can't be 8 1/8. 8 1/8 isn't the same as 8.125. That's different. They're micromillimeters apart, but it makes a fucking difference.
Yeah.
And when you're going and you're buying another deck, right? And you're trying to reduplicate the shape, or you're trying to improve upon the shape?
I'm at the point too, like I said, like the change, like I struggle with fighting change. So I know that I can do all the tricks that I can do on that Shane 8.125. So I'll call every skateboard shop in Southern California, be like, hey, you guys got that April Shane 8.125? And one of them will have it eventually, or I can buy it from the website. The website has it, but I don't want to pay the $25 shipping. I like to go into the shop. I like to touch shit. I like to get the FaceTime with the fucking dude who's selling me the board.
How many years have you been skating?
I got baby pictures on a skateboard, but I didn't start.
Fucking nuts,
We're gonna have to get those
man.
pictures.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
I didn't give a shit about the. I was just pushing it. It was a toy. It was a children's toy until 6th grade. 6th grade, I was like, oh, you can move.
That's when it clicked.
You can do shit on this. And then 7th and 8th grade, because I was like a little cholo. I grew up in like all Hispanic and black neighborhoods. So it's like I had like the little bit of hair on the front of my head, slicked back, shaved head.
Shit.
I had like the cholo haircut and everything.
Right in.
Yeah, Dickies, flannels, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Tupac. Like that was my like kindergarten through 6th grade. And then I got into 7th grade and I was like, oh, there's other white people in in like the area that I live in. I didn't see other white kids until 7th grade. And all the other, just coincidentally, the white kids were the skateboarders.
Yeah.
And they were big baggy fucking clothes. Like this is the 90s. Big baggy clothes, skate company logos and all this shit. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like addicted. I was like, what the fuck is that? And then they were like, show me a skate video. What the fuck is a skate video?
Yeah.
So we're watching Fulfill the Dream and Rodney Mullen versus Dae Wong Song, like all these original skate videos from my era, like the girl Mouse and Chocolate and like the Chocolate Tour. And we're watching all this shit. And I was just like, fucking brain exploded.
Right, because you had to wait to get the tape. It's not like you could just open up your
There
phone.
was no YouTube.
Yeah. No,
You
none
know,
of that.
There was no social.
You put it on
Yeah.
and you're just glued to the TV.
Yeah,
you know?
man. We're going to the local skate shops. At the time was Rebel. Like it was Rebel and BSA, Board Shops of America. Those are the two local skate shops when I was growing up. And like I'd go to those and I'd be like, you got the new, like I'd buy the magazine from there. I'd buy the magazine I could go to Stater Brothers and get like a Thrasher or a Trans World Skateboarding. And then you'd see in them and they'd be advertising, yo, fucking new skate videos coming out. And I'd go to the skate shop and I'd be like, you guys got this shit yet? And they'd be like, nah, maybe next month. And I come back but we were there all the time hanging out. We were degenerates, dude. We didn't do shit. We go to school and go to the skate shop.
Who's your favorite skateboarder right now?
Of all time, it's always been Brent Ashley.
Okay.
Yeah, Brent Ashley's always
changed, huh?
because Brent Ashley is style. Like I don't care about how hard the trick is. I care about how good the trick looks. Mm-hmm. And Brent Ashley has made. He's been pro for a long time, but his career has got ups and downs and stuff like that. He's like super. He's like maybe like the Cypress Hill of skateboarding. Like everybody knows who he is, but he's not in the light. Mm-hmm. So but Brent Ashley is my favorite because he makes you want to skate by pushing down the street.
Parker Street.
Because I like transitions.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a tranny skater.
Stairs or manual pad?
I grew up watching Rodney Mullen and Daewon Song, so I'm always going to pick a manual pad.
Man, that's my first skater that I met in person, and it was fucking nuts. It was inspiring moment. I've never seen, outside of like my homies and stuff like that, but somebody who's like got a stamp on their fucking name, skate. That shit is unbelievable. Yeah. It's like watching a contortionist, a fucking, one of these Circus du Soleil type things. Yeah. It's an awe-inspiring experience and I got to skate with him. With me and Davis, one of my homies, we went out to like City Industry. He was going to do some underground competition or some shit. We went to this warehouse and Daewon Song was just there. And I was like immediately scared as fuck to skate. I was like, ooh, do you get like that? Sometimes you get like,
I don't get starstruck anymore, but I'll work my way up to it. Like, and what I mean by that is, I'm not going to, like when I was a kid, I'd be trying to do the hardest shit I knew how to do in front of those pro skaters because then you want them to give you props or be like, damn, that was tight or whatever. Or maybe they can get you sponsored because I grew up in the era of having to send in sponsor me tapes or bumping into a pro and then being that, like you always hear about those golden ticket situations where it's like the pros at the spot and you're ripping and they're like, hey, give me a call tomorrow or whatever. And you're like, oh, fuck, I'm going to skate for this company maybe. So that was my generation of doing that. So for me, like I kind of felt like I had to show off when the pros were around. Now I don't fucking care about any of that. And they're people too. And so that's the thing is like when I'm more hyped and I'm like, oh fuck, I get to see this person in person.
Right.
Instead of just on the internet. We got a little sidetracked. My setup is 8.125 April.
Yeah.
I ride independent trucks. I ride 139s because that's the accurate size for the board. Because you want to have your trucks to match the board. 53 millimeter Bones wheels, and they're the 101s. I like the harder wheels. I don't want those soft wheels. I forget what the name is of the wheel, but they're side cuts. It's like the B. It's not the A, it's the B one, so that the side of the wheel is completely cut off, so I can lock into shit better. Yeah. And then 7/8 hardware, bone Swiss bearings, and then some kind of mob grip, like a number 3 or number 4 mob grip.
Man, okay, so for all of those who know what all of that means, there you go. Yeah. You feel me? I know some of that stuff, but not all of it. But I know that's important to some of you guys out there, so there's that information. I do have a every morning you come in and you watch, I call it, you do research. Yeah. It's like your morning meeting. You watch your podcast, you get into your interest for the month or for the, what is your interest and what are you researching right now?
I could care less about school when I was a kid. And then the second you get out of school, all you want to do is learn. And like, you can't get enough of that shit. Mm-hmm. So, and YouTube is a wealth of that. So I'll sit in here, I got my routine, I make a bagel, I sit down and then I get on YouTube. And then, the algorithm's pretty good on YouTube, unlike Instagram, to where it knows what I want to watch. So it's sending me like
already popping up. Yeah.
tech videos, motorcycle videos, skateboarding videos and all that. So I'm just like obsessed with like the newest thing. So that, and people ask me a lot, like, oh, what do you like? What's a good podcasting mic? I'm not podcasting, but I know what's a good podcasting mic. What's the best iPhone? What's the best whatever laptop? It's like, I'm not buying these things on the regular, but I know what they're because I like learning about why it makes that the best thing. Mm-hmm. And so that's like, that's the biggest part of it was for me. It's just learning as much as I can about all the weird little industries. I want to know about the newest cameras. I want to know about the newest anything, some weird skate tech that might be coming
You're
out.
very technology based. Is there anything on your radar that you're waiting to get right now, technology wise?
With the weird cameras technology has reached a peak with cameras right now. You can go 8K. They have cameras that do all this other fancy extra shit. But honestly, it's like we've reached a point like most people's TVs are like 4K TVs. So you're not seeing much of a difference. You can get an 8K TV, but you're going to downscale it to 4K or you're going to downscale it to 1080 and then upload it on YouTube. YouTube's not showing you 8K videos. And it's like there is 8K TVs, but there's not that many people.
The platforms haven't caught up with it yet.
It's not there yet. So with cameras, we've kind of reached a point. Like right now, if we're filming this, I'm filming at 4K at 24 frames a second and like 8 or 10 bit if I'm going to color grade it, 10 bit probably. So there's those little things that you would have it set up, but that's a pretty baseline. Like your phone does better than that. Mm-hmm. Like I have an A7S III, a Sony camera, and it does all these amazing things. And most of the time, like I'm using those amazing things on a niche. Like if the job calls for that, then I'll use the low light. If the job calls for a 10 bit, then I'm going to use 10 bit. Mm-hmm. But most of the time, if you're just putting something on the internet, like all of us are doing, I'll film 4K 24 for like an interview type thing. If I want to slow down, I'll use 4K 60 if I'm shooting skating or something like that. But if I want it really slow, then I'll use like 4K 120 if I want to slow it down even more. I like shooting in 4K because I have the ability to reframe the footage. But honestly, it's like that's kind of it. Almost every camera that you buy today on the market does everything I just said. Mm-hmm. So that's why I say I feel like we've kind of reached a level with technology. If you're in a niche market, if you want 1,000 frames a second slow-mo, there's two camera companies that like there's a couple, but there's two sub $20,000. There's two companies that you can get a camera body to do that. That's
a crazy area to be in too, because now it's a matter of what you're shooting. Once everything plateaus out and it gets very competitive again, we're back
to a point where the content, what you're doing is what's important. Mm-hmm. Like if you like, is it cinematic? Are you telling a story?
Right.
Is the person you're interviewing worth a shit? That's kind of like what it's all come back down around.
Fucks. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, how long have I known you now?
Since how long you been tattooing?
What are you doing with your pictures? Like, are you gonna put them on a gallery? Or?
Well, we have art shows here all the time.
Yeah.
And it's the shitty thing about Instagram and the internet is like things go on there to die.
Yeah.
Like but what I've been being more mindful about is when I shoot shit now is I'm like, oh, this would make a dope print. So if you look around the room that we're sitting in, everything in here, other than the two photos that you shot that are right behind your head, everything else in here I took.
Yeah.
So
I was looking. I used to work here, guys, and I was wondering if my photos were still up. They're still up. They're rad too. They're rad. They're holding their own.
They're still on the wall. That'll tell you how good they are.
Yeah. I used to shoot photography for a long time when
there's no use to. That's like some skateboarding bullshit cop out.
I do. I just been focusing on other things. When I came to Elizabeth Street, that was one of the things I was excited about. Is I got to talk to him about photography, and man, we always would just kick things around. You know, he would be doing a technique, and I'd be like, "Hey, man, how you doing that technique?" You know, to improve our tattoo photography most of the time. Then we'd also just fuck around in the front too. You know, somebody have a bike out front and we do a little commercial real quick, or, you know,
we were marketing ourselves before we even knew what the fuck that was.
Yeah.
Like we were just filming shit because we're like, damn, this would make a cool little video.
Right.
Like one of my favorite videos I shot in the shop was one of you tattooing that older woman that one time. Like with that Killer Mike song.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. That's like one of my favorite videos.
Yeah.
And that was just like, you film a bunch of bullshit because like, oh, I watched this YouTube video on how to do this weird little effect or edit in Premiere. And so now I'm trying to recreate that. And like, I have people in my life, like how extreme do I want to go? Do I just want it to be a cool tattoo video? Or do I want to call one of my buddies who can do wheelies for fucking 6 blocks and get like a cool motorcycle video? Or like, do I want to call my friend who like rides horses amazingly? Like, I like knowing all these different avenues so that I can like how many views do I want this to get?
Yeah.
Because I'll go get a gorgeous girl to spin around on a pole and I'll get 1 million views.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
Or if I want this to just be about the art, then I'm going to go like film somebody painting or film somebody tattooing or that kind of shit.
And the only way you get those pole jobs is if you're not a fucking creep.
You can't be a kook, man.
You can't be a fucking creep, man.
Yeah.
Like, he tattoos a ton of women.
My clientele is like 97, 98% female.
I tattoo a ton of women. The only way that happens is if you're not fucking Googling over them and you're respectful. Actually, I told a lady the other day, I was like, I don't fucking give a fuck what you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that shit doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
What, you know, what gender you are. Like, because she was like, I can't believe you're talking to me like that. Because I sent a message, which I didn't know I sent. And it was kind of fucked up. But in the moment, that shit fit. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn, I guess I owe her an apology.
People are too soft anyways, too, though.
I did, you know.
We're in a fucked up soft time right now.
She's like, my husband is sharing the Instagram and he saw it too. And I was like, well, he didn't fucking say anything.
So what?
I was like, yeah. I was like, well, he didn't fucking say anything.
No one called me out on it yet.
And then I started talking shit. But yeah, good times, man. Give me a good story. Give me a funny story, either within tattooing, skateboarding, or within the motorcycle industry. Give me something funny that's happened to you or something. Yeah, give me something.
So this is the one that I tell everybody because like customers always come in and they always ask like, what's the wildest shit that's happened to you? I started tattooing after the night. I started tattooing, I've been tattooing my friends since like 2008, 2009, 2010 or whatever. But I started taking it serious like 2011. That's when I tried to get into a shop and do all that shit. But we had this thing called Tattoo Fridays at my mom's house. My mom didn't give a fuck. She's like, you guys want to drink? You guys want to fuck off? I didn't ever drink, but my friends did. And it was like a safe place or whatever. So we'd come there and all my friends would get trashed. And then I'd just do dumb shit on them. And we do it like every other Friday. Sometimes it'd be every Friday. Like I tattoo them till like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
I tattooed on my best friend, Dave Garlinger. I tattooed a diamond on the bottom of his foot because he was trashed. And he's just like, tattoo the bottom of my foot. The next day he played 18. Well, he forgot that he was going to go golfing the next day. So all day I'm getting text messages like, fuck you piece of shit. You tattooed me. And I'm like,
let me do that.
Fuck you, bitch. You were threatening my life the night before.
Right.
So I was like, you fucking bitch. You're the one who like, you asked for it. Fuck you. That's why I did it.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's just like the precursor to everything. So everybody always asks me like, what's the wildest shit that like, cause the 90s were wild. I didn't tattoo in the 90s. I just got all the stories. I got tattooed in the 90s, but I know like I've been getting tattoos since I was 14. So, cause anybody listening to this might be like, you're not old enough to be getting tattooed in the 90s. Like, I know. I was getting tattooed in garages.
We know.
And the back of tattoo shops in the fucking 90s.
Yeah.
You got money, you got tattooed.
Yeah.
That's how it was. I didn't give a fuck how old you were. Whatever. Anyways. So the wildest, whenever a customer asks me, like, what's the wildest shit? I haven't had too many weird, wild encounters tattooing, but this was the wildest one that happened to me. We were at the tattoo shop in Moreno Valley that we used to be in. And this girl comes in and she's like, hey, I need to get a cover up. I'm like, all right, what do you want to get covered up? And she's pretty. She's real flirty, whatever. And I was with my ex-girlfriend, Danielle, at the time. And so I'm like, I'm not trying. And like, that's kook shit. Like we just talked about. Like, I'm not trying to hit on the fucking customer anyways. It's business. You don't shit where you eat. So she's coming in and I'm just trying to like, whatever. So I'm talking to this chick and she is like, I got to get this tattoo covered up, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, what is it? What do you want to get covered? Like, what do you want to get covered up with? She just drops her pants. Like she's wearing like some this is the Juicy Couture times where they wear like the Juicy Couture sweatsuit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She just pulls, she's not wearing underwear.
No shit.
And she just yanks down her pants and like, she's got her sweatpants around like mid thigh.
Yeah.
And she's pointing right above her shit.
Come on.
At this name that she has. And it's a tiny little name. It's probably like an inch wide by like a quarter of an inch tall. And it's just some dude's name. I don't remember what the fucking dude's name was.
Right.
She's in the lobby of the tattoo shop.
Shit.
Everybody's there. There's customers waiting to get tattooed. Like I'm just trying to paint the picture. there's a bunch of people in the lobby and she just drops trout right there. And I was like, oh fuck, we're doing it. So I'm trying not to be a creep about it. The chick just yanked her pants down and isn't wearing underwear. And she's like, I got to get this covered up. And I'm like, okay, what do you want to cover it up with? And so then we go back and forth for a little while, like doing the consultation. Like, she's like, I don't know, I just got to get it gone. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm assuming at this point that they got a divorce, they broke up, whatever. She has this dude's name tattooed on her, right above her business. It's like, it's below the waist, but it's above her shit. So that, that's the area. And so we do everything. We set the appointment up. We end up landing on, I was like, why don't you just cover it with like a star? I don't know if she had a star on her arm or like why I went to that. Maybe the Juicy Couture sweatsuit. I was like, oh, you're simple. You'll get some stars on your stars.
Stars was a thing.
Oh, your basic
that's
ass.
right.
Stars was a thing.
2011, maybe people were still getting stars tattooed.
Star on it. Right.
So then a month goes by or however long it was to the appointment. She comes back. We didn't do walk-ins at that shop. And so set her up with an appointment. She comes back. She's wearing something similar. I mean, just comfortable. You don't want to get tattooed and be uncomfortable, which is funny because I'll usually talk shit on people for not getting dressed. Like when I see somebody at Starbucks wearing like pajamas, I'm like, what the fuck? Couldn't get your fucking clothes on?
Yeah.
You asshole. It takes 2 seconds to put pants on. Put your fucking pants on. So anyway, like I said, I'm opinionated. So she comes in to get tattooed. And then so same thing happens. She comes into my booth. We had rooms, but there's no doors on the room. Yeah. And like, you can see through, like if you're at the back of my room at that shop, you could see like there was a drawing desk on the outside of the room. So there's like 4 people drawing and can see into the booth.
Yeah, right in.
No big deal. And it's like, it's creepy. You got doors on your fucking booths in your tattoo shop. Like you have to take the doors off. So there were rooms, but they didn't have any doors on them. So she comes into my booth and I was like, all right, cool. Like let's see if this fits. Pulls her pants off. Just yanks them down. Like she puts her thumbs into the waistband and just pulls them down mid-thigh. Okay. Yeah. So now I'm getting down on my knees because I need to be. Yeah, she was super pretty. Super pretty, which was fucked up. And everything looked nice too. We'll say that. Okay. So it was fucked up. All right. So I get down on my knees because I need to be straightforward with putting the stencil on. You're not going to put a stencil on somebody's waist standing up and leaning down all stupid.
Doesn't work like that.
Doesn't make sense. Because like most people might be like, what'd you get on your fucking knees? People's bullshit.
Yeah.
So anyways, I get down on my knees. I have the stencil of the star. It was like 3 stars. There was the big star in the middle, and then there's 2 small stars next to it. Just so it kind of like, almost like a gradient, like a fade of stars.
Like Wonder Woman.
Basically.
Go ahead.
So I hold the stencil up, and the stencil covers that, and I was like, oh, look, I didn't want her to have like this 8-inch star on her lower stomach. And we're going to black this thing out.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, it would look ridiculous. Like, why do you have a solid black star on your lower stomach? The fucking, what happened? What are you covering up?
Yeah.
It's obvious. So I made the star just big enough to cover the tattoo. And then the other ones were kind of shaded. So it had some style to it. So I was like, all right, this works. Make a stencil, put the stencil on. She lays on the bed, like the massage table to get tattooed. I'm tattooing her. And she's just like immediately like, moaning.
Oh shit.
And not like in pain moaning.
Yeah.
But she's just like porn star moaning. And I'm like, God damn it, dude, this sucks. I got a girlfriend. This chick is wild, dude. Like, and then I'd be tattooing her and I'm like in her shit. I'm like on her lower stomach tattooing her shit. And I'd occasionally look up and everybody that's drawing at the table
is looking
is like, they got their head in the fucking booth. Like,
yeah,
and they all got a big smile on their face. Like, Zach got a fucked up client today.
Yeah.
So I'm doing the tattoo and then she's saying wild shit the whole time. She's just like, damn, I wish I would have wore underwear today. Like,
oh, she was trying to get
it.
She's wild, dude.
She's real wild.
And I didn't know what to say. I was just like, this is my first 6 months tattooing in a shop.
Oh shit.
So these are my first experiences with dealing with these kind of people. And so I'm tattooing. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess you should have. Like I'm doing my job. I'm trying to pull. Brandon can attest to this. Brandon knows that spot to tattoo the lower stomach, the skin sucks, dude. Mm-hmm. It's like the armpit, the back of the knee, the elbow ditch, the knee ditch, the inner thigh. These are all soft skin areas and they fucking suck. You got to stretch like crazy.
There's no tension behind it.
So I'm right above a woman's business and I'm trying to stretch while like not being a creep. I'm not trying to stretch into her vagina, like
trying to hover and stuff.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I'm all up in her shit and I'm pulling line. I'm trying to tattoo it. She's saying this wild shit. She's moaning. It's out of control, dude. So I get the tattoo done and then like we weren't using there was no second skin back then. So I just put a little piece of saran wrap, I tape it up, I clean it. She goes, looks at it. She's like, oh, it's perfect. Oh, and what I left out was I asked her, I was like, trying to make conversation because she's moaning. So I'm trying to get her to stop moaning.
Break it up. Yeah.
So I go, so what's up? Did you get a divorce? Like you and your boyfriend? Like, I'm sorry to hear. And she goes, oh, no. We're still together.
Come on.
I was like, and I didn't have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
I didn't been tattooed long enough to know what to say. So I just stopped asking her questions. I was like,
yeah, we done.
I was like, okay, I'm covering up somebody's name that you're still with. I don't know where the fuck this is going. And obviously you're still in a relationship.
Right.
And you're throwing it out there like that. This is fucking wild.
Scorned.
Yeah, you don't even want to know where it's going after that.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, cool. So we bandaged the tattoo. And like I said, the whole time she's just like fucking moaning. She's saying wild shit. It was a wild situation. And if I was a piece of shit boyfriend, maybe I would have acted on it. But it's like, and I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm not shitting where I sleep.
Right.
Where I eat. And so we bandage it up and all like that. Every guy knows this. Maybe women know this too, because they might be knowing that they're doing this. There's 2 types of hugs that you get from a woman. And one of them is like, they kind of poke the ass out. And they kind of, like you get one of those, like, or you get like the over the shoulder that kind of like plays into the ass out hug where they're just like, give me a hug the fuck out.
Casual.
Like, she doesn't want to, she's like trying to be nice.
Okay, I'm learning.
No, ass out hugs, yeah, that's the thing.
Ass out hugs.
There's 2 types of hugs.
Do not fuck with
There's
me.
that one. The ass out hug is kind of like, we're friends, or like, I'm just giving you a hug because you leaned in.
Yeah.
So I'm humoring you. The second kind of hug is where they push their crotch into you.
Bump uglies.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you go to give them a hug.
We'll call that the cooter hug.
And they lean in. So you get that hug and
She pushed.
So I didn't even go for a hug. Like I kind of put my hand out and she reached in for a hug. So I was like, okay, cool. And my mom, like I said, my mom's real touchy, whatever. So I hug everybody. I touch everybody. It's my mom's fault. My mom fucking brainwashed me to like, oh, we touch people when we talk. So she leans in completely and I go, oh, okay, we're hugging. So I go to give her a hug and she just like smashes her brand new tattoo into my hip groin area. Like she just leans all of it in. And she's just like, and then she's like next to my ear and she's just like, thank you for everything so much. That couldn't have been better. Like, I don't remember verbatim what she said, but she whispered some wild shit into my fucking ear.
Okay.
And we're standing right next to a desk where there's 4 other tattooers.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like we're in my booth and we're like, I'm trying to throw it out. She, like that kind of thing. I'm not trying to pick up on this bitch. And wild, man.
What the fuck?
So she's doing it in front of everybody. She drops trowel in the consultation in front of all the customers. And she's like whispering shit in my ear where everybody else at the desk can hear it. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad you like the tattoo. Like if it needs a touch up or whatever, hit me up, like blah, that kind of thing. And then that was it. She paid, she left, never saw her again.
I've always been on the fence about that. Like, do women get orgasms when they get tattooed? I had one guy steal a client of mine when I was in my apprenticeship. And he tattooed this girl and she was fucking moaning like crazy too. But I didn't believe it. Just like in real sex, I didn't believe it. No, just kidding. Get it? I see what I did there.
I see. I didn't want to throw it out the party. Yeah, that's good.
But I didn't believe it.
If I had to say, if I was judging on the situation and everything, like in hindsight, because I've always been most guys are pretty fucking dumb. Like if there's any women listening to this podcast, every one of you fuckers, if you like a guy, just fucking tell him. We're stupid, dude. We don't play the sign games. Like if you want us to work, I'm down to work for it. I'll work for it all the time.
That's a good message too.
But if you care about if you want to if you're trying to holler at some dude, we're not picking up on any of your fucking signs. We're dumb. Straight up.
I test that
I was
too.
explaining that on one of the previous episodes. I was like, chicks like the shiny guy. Yeah. But the real ones are out doing stuff.
Yeah.
You got to catch us out there already.
So that's the thing. If this girl was like moaning and putting it out there and giving me the sketchier of the 2 hugs and thinking that I'm going to catch on, like I said, I had a girlfriend. I wasn't catching on at all. But like, that doesn't tell me that you care about me. You like me. You want to date me, any of that kind of shit. Yeah. I'm retarded. I need you to be like in my DMs to tell me, hey, motherfucker, I like you. Like, let's go do some shit. I need you to tell me in fucking person, I'm not gonna I don't pick up on your signs. And like the girls that I like and the girls that I'm like thinking like, oh, how the fuck do I go about this? Men are stupid, man. If you don't tell us straight up, like you think that there's like those memes on the internet where it's it'll be like a meme where he hasn't messaged me back in 2 hours. He's probably thinking about some other girl. And then it cuts to like a guy doing wheelies on his motorcycle.
Just having a good old time.
That's what the fuck we're doing. We are not thinking about maybe there's like 20% of men are thinking about other women. Maybe. But if you see my Instagram and I'm riding motorcycles, I'm tattooing, I'm skateboarding, I'm like an active dude, I have time for you still. I will make time for you, but I'm not thinking about some other fucking chick. Like I just told you, I just blew off some chick who's throwing it at me the whole fucking time. I'm not thinking about some other girl. I'm not doing that. We're stupid. You have to write the shit on a piece of paper, and then I might misinterpret it that way.
Have you ever been like girl crazy?
No.
No, huh?
No.
Yeah. He's always had that in perspective.
My thing though is, this sounds fucked up, but this is the reality of it. I want a girlfriend who's going to look good next to me. Mm-hmm. I can't be any more honest than that.
I mean, that people would think that there's something wrong with that, but it's just choice.
I'll tell you right now.
Your choice offends people. Fuck off.
You know how people go like, oh, you're an ass, you're a tit guy, you're this guy, you're that guy. Before I'm interested in it, I could date a chick who's completely flat. I don't care about any of that kind of stuff. I love tits. If it was like tits or ass, like I'm all tits all day. But
me too. I enjoy some titties.
But
titties for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you don't have pretty eyes, don't fucking send me a message. I care about eyes. If you look at my track record, every girl that I've ever been with has had some fucking crazy, insane eyes.
I like eyes too.
I fucking love eyes.
I'm eyes and teeth.
Eyes and teeth.
Oh my God. Yeah. If you got a big grill, I'm not interested for sure. Yeah. And I got a fucked up.
I thought I was the only one out there.
I got a couple. I got I have like a little weird snaggle tooth and it drives me nuts. So it's like, I think that's why I'm a little bit more critical. Like, whenever I see some girl with like some fucking veneers or whatever, like just super hyper white teeth, I'm just like, why am I so attracted to this chick? Yeah. What the fuck?
Right. Yeah.
Eyes.
I mean, my thing is big earlobes. You know what I'm saying? I get to flicking them motherfuckers.
That's what's up. Something to nibble on.
To squeeze on that girl, you know?
Hey, bitch, let me lean up into that.
Did you have anything else for him?
No, man. I'm trying to think of all the things because a lot of people don't have access to Peacock. And
so this might definitely be another, if he's open to it, we bring him back on.
Well, I feel like they're definitely going to be like, well, he didn't ask the right fucking questions.
Well, then down in the comments, you can ask the questions that you want me to answer next time.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions, please follow up on this episode. This guy, I mean, we're trying to get as much as we can into these episodes, but there's just so much. The people we're bringing on are not just one episode type of
or one dimensional.
Yeah. We could sit here and talk about film.
Well, I can talk for 3 hours about the motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
I can talk for 3 hours about the transplant.
Right.
I can, those things, they're not, we're only doing this for an hour or so, however long this ends up being. It's not long enough. And you don't want to bum people out or bore them. Like maybe I'm not interesting at all.
Exactly. I mean, for some motherfuckers you will, and for some you fucking won't. That's just how it works.
I ain't here for everybody. Fuck them.
Right. John Mayer doesn't get play in everybody's radio.
Boom. You feel me? You definitely don't get play in mine.
Fuck what you listening to these days?
Yeah.
It's always going to be like Southern hip hop. Always. Like Outkast, Jeezy, like all that kind of shit. Like that is my favorite shit. But guilty pleasure. I fucking love Lady Gaga, dude.
Okay.
I'll be banging that shit.
Okay.
I was screaming that shit. Yes, all my friends were
not what I was expecting. But
I pissed
with the everybody off on the session yesterday.
Yeah,
because I was driving my car because I live in Whittier but I'm a Riverside boy.
Yeah,
all the way. And so like the quickest way I can get back to Riverside, everything will be fine. But I'm in Whittier, and we usually skate in LA because LA got all the spots, and LA got a fucking homeless problem. So the cops don't give a fuck about skateboarding right now. So we've been getting away with a lot of shit out that way. So we're going and skating LA, San Pedro, Long Beach, whatever, anywhere on that side of our like geography. We're going out that way because they don't give a fuck about us right now. When usually you get busted for rolling down the street on a skateboard.
That's gotta be nice though, huh?
We get more tries for sure. Skateboarding is not a first trick thing. Some of the blessed ones it is, but not for us.
It's interesting that the bums haven't tried to take over skate parks.
Well, you know what's crazy, dude? There's a fucking respect that goes into that shit. Like, we're in the streets. I got to move your crack needle so I don't hit it when I'm going off the lip of the edge of this curb to hit this rail or whatever the fuck I'm skating. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm not fucking with them. They're not fucking with us. There's a respect. Thankfully, we're not getting robbed by homeless people. And because we're willing to fight, too. That's the other thing is like, I got a weapon. I will hit you with this fucking... You think I'm not willing to go to jail because you're trying to take my camera? Yeah. I'm going to fuck you up. That's straight up.
Right.
So I think they know maybe a couple of homeless people got beat up, or they just know that like we come from the same fucking place as you, dude.
You get focused. You fuck around with a skateboard. It's only a matter of time until you get a truck.
But not even talking about the shitty side of that. Like if you fuck with me, I'm going to beat your ass. The side of it that I'm talking about is just like, you're on a hard trip right now. I'm right next to you. I'm not fucking with you. You're not fucking with me. There's like this unspoken respect. And it's like, maybe this dude is homeless because he came from a fucked up upbringing. I didn't come up from any better of an upbringing. I just have like a slightly more drive to keep me from being homeless. Mm-hmm. So it's not that there's like a real thing. Like homeless people don't fuck with skateboarders for the most part.
Do you consider yourself a positive person?
I'd like to think so, but I don't think I come off as positive at all.
Right. Yeah. So I was just leading into that. Just so you guys know, we are trying to bring people that we think are cool, you know what I mean, and are living life in the right fashion. That's 100% the reason we brought Peacock today. You don't necessarily have to be some cookie cutter motherfucker to enjoy life, man. You don't have to be Mr. Soft ass, fucking Mr. Nice to everybody all the time. You can make mistakes. You can get fucking knocked off your bike and get back up and fucking continue life in the fashion that you want to. It doesn't even have to take that fucking long. It's just it's a choice, and maintaining a value within your life and keeping your soil rich. Zach, you want to?
What would you say to people that look up to you, that think you're motivational?
I don't know. Ask me a question. I'll tell you the answer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to fail. Just keep doing it. Find things that drive you and get in the driver's seat.
Fuck yeah. You mind if I throw a quote at you?
No.
Let me see what you think. So this is Paulo Coelho. He said, I believe enlightenment or revelation comes in daily life. I look for joy, the peace of action. You need action. I'd have stopped writing years ago if it were for the money. I thought that was perfect, especially as it went on.
That's perfect. Well, that ties into skateboarding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because it's like, I didn't get into skateboarding for the money, the fame, any of that shit. From the time that I got into skateboarding, that wasn't there. You did it because you wanted to do it. So I agree with that wholeheartedly, for sure. Because now you can get into I tattoo a lot of teachers, and the teachers are telling me that the kids don't want to pay attention because they're like, well, I'm just going to be a YouTuber when I grow up. Yeah. I'm just going to be a fucking pro skateboarder when I grow up. And you're like, that's a 1% of people that actually fucking works for. Mm-hmm. If you're willing to put that much, I don't think people understand how much fucking effort goes into that stuff.
Yeah.
And time and all that. I got to the point that I'm at because I cared about the shit that I was interested in. And
Tunnel
it just so,
vision.
Yeah.
Relentless fucking pursuit.
Yeah.
No. He's not fucking going half-hearted at all at anything he's doing. Passions. Just because some may fall less on the priority list.
No, I'm not money driven at all.
That he's approaching them with any less vigor.
No.
And living life till its fucking fullest.
If skateboard, like I say, I'll skate till I can't walk. That's like the quote of my life. But if I ever woke up and skateboarding just wasn't fun, or it just got fucking boring or whatever, like stepping on the skateboard didn't give me that endorphin release that I get, I'd stop fucking doing it. I'm not.
Yeah, that'd be the day.
100%.
I'm not tied into this shit at all. I'm doing this because I want to fucking do this. I want to maintain a level of physique. I want to maintain a level of trick selection. Like I want this shit.
Yeah, I used to struggle working here. You know what I mean? Me and Brian used to butt heads. We used to have our differences. It was a different time. We were different people at that time. And Peacock would be like, he would look at me with a shitty fucking look. Like, if you fucking hate it so much, why don't you just fucking leave?
I tell everybody.
Why don't you it's your fucking choice. He's like, I wouldn't fucking show up for this shit if I was you, if I felt this way.
Yeah.
If I got tired of tattooing tomorrow, I love all my customers. But if I was over tattooing tomorrow, I'd go be a fucking filmmaker if filming was more important. I've never said no to anything. I've always if it's like some suspect shit, then I'm like, I might push it out a little bit. But even when you asked me about this, I was like, well, fuck, I've never been interviewed on a podcast. Let's go fucking interview.
Right.
Try it out. This might be my favorite shit to do, to talk to people. Mm-hmm. And I would have never fucking known that if if I didn't go like walk into this.
That's what we're finding out too.
Yeah, this is rad.
That we do like this. Yeah. And no one's told us to stop yet. That's why we keep going.
And if they do tell you to stop,
keep on going.
Yeah, we do have that.
Yeah, we do have that too. Yeah.
I'm not. That's what it like I said, it's skateboarding. I'm not doing this shit because I'm interested in what anybody else thinks. Like we're negative, shitty people, like poor ghetto kids, because skateboarding is obtainable. You can get this thing from your friend. All your friends can take all the parts of their boards and give you a loaner, shitty ass board. Like it's the poor kids thing to do is skateboarding. Like if you like John Cardiel said, like if you have to be of means to get up on, like you have to have to be a snowboarder, you have to have a car that can get you up the hill. You have to put gas in the car. You have to have all the gear to keep you dry and comfortable. You have to buy the snowboard. You have to buy the boots. You have to buy the lift ticket. There's all these fucking
super expensive hobby.
Yeah, there's all these, like, it's like a rich kid thing.
Yeah.
With skateboarding, you just need all your friends to find all their beat ass parts, give you this shitty setup, and then you can go in your front yard.
Right.
You don't need
shit. I got one of his skateboards right now.
Yeah.
I'm riding one of his old decks and shit.
Well, it's the same thing. Like when you were telling me when Miles was all getting into it, it's like, I went out and bought him a fucking complete.
Yep. He still got it. You feel me?
Because I wanted, like, if you're showing any interest at all, I'm like, I know what skateboarding did for me, so I'm going to turn that shit around. All the kids at the skate park, one of our closest friends, he's like 21 years old. This dude Garza doesn't even have his paperwork. He's illegal, like a legal Hispanic kid. Anytime I see a pair of shoes that are a size 9, I just buy the shoes because I know he's fucking ripping. He's an amazing skateboarder. And it's like, if I keep giving him a pair of shoes, then that's another month that he gets to skateboard.
Yeah.
That's big homie shit too.
Yeah.
You know,
it's just because I know he is fucking amazing and he loves his shit. And I see myself in him. And it's like, if somebody was doing that for me, then I'd push 10 times harder.
That's what I was going to ask. There was nobody in your world that was
one
big
of my
homie.
No, my buddy Aaron Krawick.
Okay.
That dude, if it wasn't for Aaron, I started skating for SRH Clothing, supporting Radical Habits. I started skating for SRH Clothing because that was Aaron's favorite company.
Oh, okay.
And because I couldn't give him money for him to drive us around, he just did it. He was just like the good dude. He was the older guy. He had his shit together. He had a job. He had a car. His parents, he had like loving parents that were down to support him for whatever the fuck he wanted to do. They'd give him the gas card when gas was 90 cents a gallon, you know, like,
right.
And then they'd just be like, yeah, fill the van up. His parents had this minivan, and then we take the minivan, we go skate all over Southern California. And then we bring the car back stinking like sweat, fucking tires bald, empty gas tank. They didn't give a fuck. They're like, yeah, whatever. If it wasn't for Aaron and his parents, I would not be at the level that I am at skateboarding and the love that I have for skateboarding. I probably still love skateboarding, but it's Aaron Krawick. If it wasn't for that dude, I wouldn't have shit like skateboarding was. Because that dude, like, he wasn't driving us around so I could be the best skateboarder in the group. He was driving us around because it was what we did on the weekends. Like, we all hopped in that stinky ass Astro van and whipped that shit all fucking. We stayed at his house. We ate all the food in his fridge because I didn't have no fucking food. Pissed his parents off. Sure, I probably like pissed the bed or did some wild shit, you know, like didn't stunk up everything. I didn't know any better. When the skate videos would come out, he had a job. He'd buy the skate videos. We'd go to his house. We'd have like a little premiere get together. So when I was capable to get sponsored as skateboarding, I went in. The first company I sent a sponsor me tape into was SRH. Was because I was going to pay this. I was like, I can't give this dude money. I can't do anything for this dude that he doesn't already have, but I can fill his closet with shit that he loves. And so that's what I did. And I didn't have a car to get down to, they were in Vista. They'd send me stuff to the house. But if I went down to the warehouse, they'd give me a big ass, the biggest box you can get from Amazon. I mean, now it's Amazon, but back then it was just so people have like some context. It was this massive cardboard box. And I go to the warehouse and they tell me, whatever you can put in this thing, you can take home.
Oh shit.
So I'd fill this thing with thousands of dollars of clothing and I'd bring him. And then I'd just be like, oh, this is my ride. I'd kind of play it off like that so they wouldn't think nothing. And then I'd just be like, fill the fucking box, dude.
Yeah. Go for it.
I'd be like, what do you want? Grab whatever the fuck you want. Throw it in the box. And I'll just say it's for me.
Yeah.
And I did that for years.
Yeah.
There was no website to look at, to pick at. I'd just be like, they'd send me shit. And I'd be like, yeah, I wore a medium this month. I'm changing my shit up.
That's
and
like the dream.
And then I give it to Aaron.
Right?
Yeah.
As a skateboarder to get sponsored and just be like, hey, grab what you want.
The product pillage, dude.
Yeah, that's tight.
Any other last minute shout outs?
No, I'm just thankful for everything.
Yeah.
Everybody in my life, you fuckers know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for you giving this interview. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
This is one more chapter in our relationship as friends. You know me, man. I'm always gonna have some new on the horizon, and we're gonna keep pushing.
For all the wild shit in your life, I've gotten the phone call, and I've answered the phone every fucking time you've called me.
He's definitely a resource that I'll tap into when I'm absolutely ready to lose my shit. And you know, he be coming. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes
it's not always the answer you want, but it might be the answer you need to hear.
I gotta be prepared to call Peacock on the phone because he's gonna be. It's not always in my favor.
I'm a dick, you know man. And I might, you might be like on the, I've had plenty of friends call me when they're on the edge of like being suicidal and shit. And I'm just like, don't be a fucking bitch. Don't do it.
Right.
Like, let's go skate. Let's go fuck off. Let's go do it. Like, I'll come pick you up. We'll go do some shit.
But that's what they needed.
I had like 4 or 5 friends. And one of the friends that called me all the fucking time, the time he didn't call me, he killed himself.
Damn.
That's just how it is. Like, I was able to talk his ass off the ledge every fucking time. And except for the time that he didn't call me.
Reach out,
I didn't call. I couldn't.
You better, man, be careful in these streets. I see you out there in Whittier dipping around like it's,
man, I'm living my life.
You know, Corona.
I don't ride motorcycles because they're safe. I don't ride skateboards because they're safe. I don't run my fucking mouth because it's safe.
Yeah, see this guy, right? Well, like I said, be careful out there.
And I appreciate you too coming on the show.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's just fun, man.
Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, there'll be more.
Yeah.